Welcome back. Today we have a Milk Stout from Untitled Art. It is the Dulce de Leche Stout, 8% ABV. Let's check it out. Untitled Arts is in Waunakee, Wisconsin. The can on this beer says that it also has Cruz Blanca Brewing in Chicago on it, so maybe a collaboration. They're known to do craft Mexican beers. So Untitled Art, I believe, is a collaboration between Levi Funk and Octopi Brewing. Levi Funk has the Funk Factory Guzzeria, I think is what it's called, brewing. So the two of them started Untitled Arts. So again, this has a Chicago brewery name on it, so maybe a collaboration. 8% ABV Milk Stout. As the name would imply, Untitled Art. They're all about their artist, so great can art. They also say that their beer, the cans, they don't put a lot of tasting notes. They don't come up with kitschy names. They want the beer to be, as they describe it, like artwork in a gallery or a museum. The beer should stand alone. It should just say the artist and the artist's intent, and let the beer stand for itself. So I guess the flavor of it should be what you get, and not lots of preconceived notions with any long discussion on the can. So the cans are fairly simple, but with great artwork. This artist is Noel Miller, and it looks, I guess, maybe an underseascape. I'm not sure, but Milk Stout style, so black in color, dark roasty coffee chocolate, usually medium bodied, roasty. It's a Milk Stout, so lactose sugar, which should add some fullness to the body, and as well as keeping some of that sweetness in addition to malt sweetness, lactose sugar sweetness. Caramel notes are common. This is named after a confection that is known to be caramel-like, so I'm assuming we're going to get some caramel notes with this. Let's get it out of the can and into a glass. Really dark brown. It's like a dark mahogany color. A little bit of a tan head, pretty foamy. That's a good looking beer. I get the nose on this is a sweet coffee chocolate with hints of dark fruit maybe. Not very strong, but very pleasant nose on this. Very excited for this one. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Not very sweet, semi-sweet. Small hints of coffee bitterness. A little bit of chocolate, but not a sweet chocolate. Some dark fruit, maybe molasses-like, but the flavor's not very strong. It's not very pronounced. It's pretty muted, and it just travels along that. A little bit of coffee, a little bit of chocolate, slightly bitter, touch of maybe malt or that lactose sugar sweetness, but not a lot. Some dark fruit notes, which maybe partly that like molasses flavor, and it stays pretty steady. The back end doesn't change, doesn't have any bitter residual at the back end. It starts even, ends even, stays the same start to finish. Medium bodied, doesn't leave anything behind. 8% ABV, doesn't have any, of course, any boozy alcohol notes really. Touch of dark fruit maybe, licorice, molasses. It's got that that vein that you get from that kind of dark fruit molasses thing, fig kind of thing. Not very bitter, not very sweet. It's very moderate would be the word. It's middle of the road. It's fairly complex, but it's not a very strong flavor. There's not a lot of roasty bitterness, not anything earthy. It's just a very pleasant middle of the road. I'm not sure I get much caramel considering the name. I would have thought more caramel, maybe sweeter, but it's not very sweet. The bitterness drops off pretty quick. So, yeah, it's a little bit of coffee roast, maybe a little bit of bitter, like dark chocolate. And then there's this vein of either dark fruit, molasses, fig kind of thing going in there. The bitterness drops off. It stays the same start to finish. So slightly complex, not very bold, not as sweet as I would have thought for a milk stout, but enjoyable. Yeah, well done. Let's check this in on Untapped and put another one in the books. Untitled Arts. Dulce de Leche Milk Stout. Semi-sweet chocolate, little bit of coffee, maybe some molasses, dark fruit. Not very bold. Complex, but not bold. Medium-bodied. Very enjoyable. Great, well done milk stout. Not as sweet as most milk stouts, I guess, but really enjoyable. Another one checked in. As I said, I have some beer to work through in the beer fridge, so more to come. So until the next time, cheers.